frankly, when I saw the Mary Burke letter, my reaction was, yeah, pretty much same old, same old. Maybe that's because, I see what passes for liberal political thought in the state of Wisconsin, which basically has become just a series of lashing out at how much they hate Governor Scott Walker. But what's interesting, what's interesting about this is that anybody would be surprised at all that she's going to wage this kind of campaign. I mean, just last week, she announced the appointment of this very, very controversial unionista activist who was ticketed down in Racine after harassing senior citizens at this private fundraiser. That she is associating her campaign with the people who engaged in, I think, some of the tactics that were most distasteful to people in the state of Wisconsin. I remember when I was talking with the governor about his book, whether he would identify any turning point in the whole fight over Act 10, the whole 2011-2012 war here in Wisconsin. And he answered pretty quickly that he thought it was when they started going to people's private homes, that when the Unionistas decided they were going to come after his family, when they began picketing private residences. I think that it offended a certain innate sense of decency and fairness on the part of Wisconsinites. Well, one of the people who obviously has no problem with that tactic is the new grassroots coordinator for the Mary Burke campaign. And we talked about it on my television show over the weekend. And, Walker had a controversial aide that he fired in about 5 minutes, woman who wrote the 2 tweets 3 years ago. This story has been widely reported now that she has this rap sheet. The police reports make it very, very clear that she intimidated senior citizens, and she had to pay the fine. And yet Mary Burke has had nothing to say about it. She's going to keep her on because, frankly, this is the kind of person that Mike Tate and the Democratic Party want her to be associated with. I mean, remember what Tate said about a very peaceful Tea Party rally? This was kind of a tip of what was going to happen. Back, way before Scott Walker was even elected, there was a very peaceful rally on Milwaukee's lakefront of some folks who were talking about the size of the federal government. And the chairman of the state Democratic Party issued what was at the time a rather extraordinary attack on, people. He said, these are extremist elements pulling together distinct vocal minorities that frankly don't believe in this country. They don't want to see more people have access to quality health care. They don't want clean air and water. They fundamentally do not understand how the American government, economy, and capitalism works. Now, I wrote at the time that I thought it was exceedingly rare that the chairman of a political party would insult that many people and display that much bile and cluelessness in a single paragraph. And we named Mike Tate real man of political genius. But of course, that's when he was channeling the demented ravings of Graham Zelinsky. But it would be interesting for somebody to take Mike Tate's quotes about the Tea Party, where he compares them to the Ku Klux Klan and everything, and read them to Mary Burke and say, do these thoughts reflect your views? Is this the kind of rhetoric that you're going to be engaging in? Since you have associated yourself with Mike Tate, and since now your own fundraising letters seem to be channeling this obsessive hatred of Tea Party conservatives. That'll be interesting.